from the lighter side of pest control. This is the Tales from the Crawl Space.
Stupid ants.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another extremely sweaty, damp, and humid episode of Tales from the Crawl Space.
It's moist.
It is we are visibly moist here at Cheesebag Studios, and I've got a fan blowing on me, and all it's doing is blowing the liquid all over me. Yeah, all right, I'm over here halfway across the country is good old Jack Starry. Jack, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. There's been some progress made on some good things in my life, and I got a little too deep in the cups yesterday, so I was suffering the first half of the day, but I'm good now.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And he's actually enjoying a sweet tea now, and today's podcast is brought to you by Cool Blue Gatorade and Jim Beam's Devil's Cut. I don't know what they do to those barrels to suck all that liquid goodness out of there, but they've done it. They've bottled it up, and it's pretty good.
It's two great tastes that taste great together.
Exactly. Yes. And not a drop of Retsin between the two.
Retsin. Holy shit. That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, that's I threw that out to all those boomers out there. So, shit, Jack, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, ants. Yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly, the hideous, the bullshit. Cause ain't that a bitch?
Well, I gotta tell you, I mean, ants, there's some, interesting ant stories, but I don't think things get too terribly epic when it comes to ants, which is probably why we were, hit a little bit of a drought for submissions for the show.
We did. We did.
But that's all right. You know what happens? Like I said, there's nothing really epic about ants. Everybody's got a boring ant story. Yeah, they're all over the counter. But I've got enough of, fuck ups of my own. I've got some good stories here, some little short stories as well. But, and I've got a bunch of pictures where I busted my ass with a big fucking, backpack sprayer, walking along this walkway and fell and busted my ass right in front of the customer. And I think it was about ants, but it was more about me getting myself fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. but before we start getting into the throes of this, everybody, I want to raise a glass of sand to our departed Mr. Shackelford, who, as you all know, portrayed the voice of Dale Gribble on King of the Hill.
Are you a CIA agent?
Are you attempting to know me?
Pocket Store.
Yeah, my God, what a shock! And he was an icon, and he will be missed.
He definitely was.
I'm hoping that, he'll be remembered always.
Dale Bug will not be servicing customers anymore.
It has not been a good year for us, Jack, as far as losing the good ones. Started off with Randy Strother, then Stoy Hedges, and now this.
And I was wanting to mention Stoy Hedges because any of you old school pest guys out there have had that little book that was about 6 inches tall called the PCT Guide to Structure Infesting Ants. And if you look at the author of that book, that's Stoy Hedges that wrote
none other than my man Stoy.
That's right. And I tell you, that book is a fucking savior when it comes to figuring out what's going on. That thing was like a little baby, like those little Bibles you get in the hotels. That the Gideons leave in the hotels for you. That was like the Gideon's Bible of pest control for ants.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. One of my favorite moments was when my now beautiful bride of 36 years and I were dating. The first time we went to a hotel room, she went to the nightstand, grabbed the Bible out of there, threw it in the hallway, goes, "We're not going to be needing this tonight."
And I tell you, that is a fine lady that you have there. You lucked out. You hit the lottery when you married her.
I definitely married up. You single guys, if I can give you any advice, is the one best piece of advice I can give is to marry your trophy wife the first time.
Yeah.
You will have so much more money, so much more hair, and so much more stomach lining left if you do that. So, hang in there. She's out there.
Yeah, anyway. She is. You lucked out. That's for goddamn sure.
Thanks, Jack. Those are kind words. And, well, hey, ants, ants, you're right. Jack hit on the fact that ants aren't the world's most exciting type of pest anymore, especially with the advent of non-repellents. I mean, basically spray this and, you're done. It's taken, a lot of the times it's taken the challenge out of it, on a lot of different species of ants. There are still quite a few out, there are still a few out there that, it just takes some good old homework and research. And, I mean, just face it, we're a time and money business. And, if we got something that'll keep them out of the house, out of the customer's house, then yeah, we're going to use it, so we've kind of gotten away from the sleuthiness that we used to have when it comes to, identifying, investigating, trying to find the source and all that other good shit. Most of the times we're just like, all right, well, your kid dropped a lollipop here and they're all over that. That's why you got ants. I'll spray this shit outside and we're good. It's definitely changed. Has it changed for the better? I'd say yeah, because who the fuck has time anymore to go, trace a trail of odorous house ants all the way back to the fucking colony, which may not even be on the property, keep them out of the house. You're good, and,
well, I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to love camping out. If I had a slow day or I had the time to do it, I'd get those little tiny, grape jelly packets that look the same shape, same size as a ketchup packet from McDonald's. I get little grape ones. And I'd get there to the job first thing where a few ants were trailing, and I'd put a little dab of grape jelly. Then I'd go about and do the other stuff. And when I came back to it, the damn thing swarmed with ants. So I'd just follow them back when they leave that little pile of jelly. Just find out where they're going and follow that back. It just always seemed to be the easiest thing for me to do.
Yeah. That was always my favorite thing to do too, is give them a little bit of bait, an attractant, and get them swarming on that and finding their way back. Remember one time I was up with my brother Mark and, his in-laws lived in Stone Lake, Wisconsin, and they got this little cottage out in the middle of the woods right on the lake. It's beautiful, beautiful. I was up, late, early in the morning to go in and take my morning constitutional before everybody else woke up because I didn't want to subject them to that. I'm sitting there on the can and I look down. It's the biggest goddamn carpenter ant I ever saw, just sitting there on the floor. And that thing was about the size of my thumb, my first knuckle on my thumb.
Damn.
Tip to knuckle. It was the damnedest thing I ever saw. They're growing big up there in Wisconsin. Big old cheese-fed carpenter ants. But, I smashed it.
I had a carpenter ant job that, for some reason, my technicians couldn't quite figure out where they were coming from, but they'd treat around the outside of the house and they'd keep coming in. They'd treat around the outside, keep coming in. So, I started inspecting the house and I started looking around the outside and I see that the power lines pass right through this damn tree on the way to the house. And it turns out that the damn carpenter ants were following the power lines from the tree to the power lines and coming in at the gutter line. It's
just tight roping it over.
Yeah, it was a single, one-story home. And, so I got up on the roof and, I'm like, well, I'm not really going to spray anything on these cables. So what I did is I got a little bit of, Vaseline and slathered the end about a foot back on the end of the cable. From where it met the house to about a foot out, and the ant stopped. So all it took was a little bit of Vaseline to keep them bastards from crossing it.
Bravo.
So the people who make that slick barrier stuff owe me some fucking money.
Yeah. Very good.
That's what that
is. Man. I used to get to a point where I'd keep packets of sugar in my truck. And if I would actually find a trail of ants, if I didn't have the time, I'd treat around the house inside and out. I'd drop the sugar on that trail and just let them go to that. They'd stop going to the house. Like, fuck it, like I said, it's all about getting them out of the house. What they do outside, who cares?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you want to make a believer out of somebody I was doing this initial service and this guy was just overrun with ants and his tree, he had this, I don't even know what kind of tree it was, but man, this thing was silly with ants. I got my little canister of Entice ant granular, and he had that dyed mulch. It was black mulch around the bottom of this tree. And I started sprinkling that stuff out. And it took about a minute, and then you start seeing these little pieces of bait moving around, but that's all you saw because the damn mulch was black. You couldn't see the ants.
Oh, wow.
So I waved the homeowner over and I said, look at this, watch this. He goes, what are those white things? And I held up the bait. I said, it's the bait. And all of them, all the little pieces of bait were just moving all over the place. He goes, are those the ants? I'm like, yeah, you can't see them. But that's the ants. And when I came back the next month, he's like, man, after you showed me that, I haven't seen one single ant in my house. I'm like, that's why we do it, man. I made a believer out of him. And that was the day. Actually, do you remember when I uploaded that video of the guy I worked with that saw that still in the package dildo sitting in the entrance of the crawl space?
Yeah.
That I had left that guy's job with the ants, gotten in the truck, and there was like 8 missed calls and like 10 messages. Dude, you gotta answer me. Dude, pick up the phone. Dude, check your messages.
Oh, crap.
and he had sent me that video, that dildo and that woman trying to hit on him. Like, did you find anything? No ma'am. Are you sure you didn't find anything? No ma'am. Did you look really hard?
Nice.
He said what threw me off was the fact that the rest of the basement was full of guns.
Yeah, pretty much. And her husband was only 15 minutes away from being home, so that's not enough time to tear one off. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Oh, no, so some guys may be good for 3 minutes,
Well, yeah,
wipe off all the drapes and get out of there.
Yeah, it's like I can't even do rodeo style anymore because I can't hang on for 8 seconds. All right, let's see. Hey, we did, again, it's kind of a mayonnaise type subject with ants, but we did get a few stories in. Stuart Manners, from good old PCHD, my favorite group, was talking about, and this one's great. I was using CB80 in an attic to find a carpenter ant nest. I was new. Hitting areas underneath the insulation where I thought they might be. Customer's wife worked nights and was sleeping, but not for long. I could hear her screams from the attic as carpenter ants started falling from the ceiling fan all over her. Good times. Good times.
Yummy.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a good way to let people know you're getting results.
Oh yeah. Well, Zach Stafford said, I can't think of any real crazy ant stories, but some of the toughest ant jobs I've had is with them in the walls or the ceiling feeding on termites. Odorous house ants and imported red fire ants were feeding on termites, which I would love to just watch that. I mean,
yeah.
Watch those soldier termites battling it out with the ants. That would have been cool as hell.
Yeah. And then the ants going, fuck you, and grabbing a worker and heading on out. Yeah, it's beautiful. I've seen it when Citricon was in its infancy. I saw that a couple times going out doing my dreaded monthly inspection of these stations. And and I'd open every so often I'd open one up and find the battle royale going down right there in the fucking station. Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings shit right there. And
you just pause and watch it for a second and going, oh, that's fucking cool.
Oh, yes, you bet your ass I do. But then, but it's like, the fight to the death. You gotta love it. And those fucking soldiers with those big ass heads and those pinchers that, really don't do a whole hell of a lot. But,
no, they're there for looks, for intimidation.
Yeah, we're just here to scare you and impress chicks with our big heads and big pinchers. The ants are like, I'm not impressed.
Well, I get this. This doesn't have to do with, it has to do with ants, but not ants eating termites, but they were eating something else. This is a short ant story, but I was working and, Roger Vasquez, should I say. He says, this is a short ant story, but I was working and started getting an itchy feeling in my crotch. I tried to covertly scratch it, but started to feel worse and worse. It started to be painful, so I went to the restroom and checked. Right on the bottom of my sack, a fire ant was furiously hanging onto his nutsack. He goes,
my God.
I still don't know how it got there.
Oh, wow. I know how it got up there. It crawled up there. It's like, I smell cheese. There and clamp. Oh, my God. Yeah, carpenter ants and fire ants. My first experience with carpenter ants was as a wee lad, and this is one of my earliest memories. And, I got into this thing where I just loved everything. I was maybe 4 years old, maybe a little younger than that. And, so, cause I'd been to church. I said, love everybody, love everything. Jesus loves everybody, blah, blah, blah. And so I wanted to put that theory to the test. And my mom, the house over on Coeen Street where we lived, my mom had, there were peonies growing. And, the peonies get the buds and then the big fucking ants get on the buds and, and eat the waxy shit on there. Cause I don't know, maybe it gets them high. Who knows? If it gets a high, I'd probably be eating it. But anyway, I grabbed one of those ants and gave it a kiss and that motherfucker latched on my lower lip and would not let go. And I was screaming bloody murder, hollering, raising hell. And it was, but that stuck with me, Jack. And now I've been in pest control for over 30 years.
You got the bug, literally and figuratively.
Yes, I still haven't killed the demon within.
That's called alcoholism, Brad. That's what that is. Yeah. Well, look, Timothy James Jackling said, aside from customers who constantly call for retreats because their house is buried under a brush pile and vines that they refuse to do anything about. That's it. I mean, if you find, piles of leaves that blown up against the side of the house and they're just sitting there and you get a couple good rains so the bottom of the pile's wet and it's all nasty, soggy and mushy and there's ants all through it and shit. And, people don't clean their shit up and they wonder why they have ants. I mean, it's simple. A rake, 30 minutes of your time and you could probably save yourself a whole lot of problems and a whole lot of scheduling headaches with waiting for the guy to come back for a retreat and whatever.
Right.
And I tell you, and if we go around spraying the perimeter, unless you clean up around your foundation, we're spraying leaf litter that you're eventually going to clean up and it won't be there anymore.
That's right. Yep. It'll all be gone.
Clean your shit.
Yeah. Clean your shit. Yeah. And don't be blaming the bug man because you can't clean your shit. So
that's
my dear friend and good buddy and brother to the death, James Schultz, old Schultzy. Schultzy pipes in. Oh, got a good Schultzy story. So, Jack, have you ever had corncob jelly?
I've not.
You have not? Okay. It's delicious.
Okay.
I've made it for the first time last weekend. You take your corn cobs. Now, these are, when you buy the sweet corn and everything when it's in season, you cut the kernels off of it and get about 12 of them together. You can freeze it if you want. Once you got 12 together, you throw in a big pot, put about 8 cups of water on it and boil it for about 20 minutes. You drain the juice off, you grab some pectin and some sugar and you make jelly with it. Okay.
Oh.
It's actually really good. It's really, for a basic one, you just lightly toast an English muffin and lightly butter it and then put some of that on there. It's out of this fucking world.
Oh, wow.
I've seen it in some of these, hillbilly, jitsy, kitsy places, in tourist traps and whatnot of corncob jelly. And I've always been intrigued by it. So I tried it and it is really good. Well, gave a jar of it to my esteemed daughter because one of her coworkers wanted to try it, but she decided she didn't want it. So Schultzy works with my daughter now because he fled the Scarlet Letter just a little bit after I did, and then so she gives it, and he was reluctant to do it. She goes, Schultzy tells my daughter Mo, says, would you give your dad a little advice next time? Maybe put a little yellow food coloring in it because this looks like cum. And I was like, it does not look like cum. Cum is much more opaque and everything. I was like, but I wasn't going to get into that with my daughter. But oh my God. So I texted him. I said, have you even tasted the jar of cum I gave you? He's like, I don't know what to put it on. So I ran through what he could have it on and everything. I said the recipe called for yellow food coloring, but I was out of it. So I just went with it. And when I see it in the hillbilly shops, it's not yellow food coloring in it. So
there's some hillbilly with his pants around his ankles, cranking them out, filling jars up.
Yeah. Well, it was a telling thing. James does eat with his eyes and he's not as secure in his sexuality as I thought. Anyway, all right. Well, to his ant story, I've gone off on a goat path. So Schultzy goes, back when I was a service manager at the Big Green Tea, I had to go to this house because according to the customer, my tech couldn't get rid of her ants. So there I was standing in her living room. This entitled cunt was cussing me out up one side and down the other. Meanwhile, her 3 crotch goblins, ages probably 2 to 4, are standing around us, stripped down to just diapers with popsicles dripping down on their fucking elbows and all over the floor.
Oh.
She got even more pissed when I spread my arms and said, "Allow me to present Exhibit A."
What?
Yeah.
You're
cringing, Jack.
Yes, I am. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. Yeah.
Does he expound upon Exhibit A?
Well, Exhibit A would be the crotch goblins, ages probably 2 to 4, standing around them, stripped down to just their diapers with popsicles dripping down their fucking elbows all over the floor. So, yeah. Well, I think that's what he was referring to.
Okay, because I was wondering how you handle that. Wash your fucking kids. What do you do? I mean, how do you find a polite way to say that?
You eat popsicles outside like we did when we were kids, Jack. My mom never allowed us to eat popsicles inside.
No, I'm with you on that one. My ass was sitting in the garage eating them because I'd drip them all over the place. But
thank you. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
But how do you politely say that to a homeowner who has the Virginia Slim hanging out of her mouth and got these kids running around with Kool-Aid mustaches that are 5 days old? How do you say that?
Nothing is polite about him. It's direct and to the point.
Wash your fucking kids.
Wash your fucking kids. That's right. Your crotch goblins. Oh man.
Yummy. Yeah. I've seen enough of that. I mean, I've done enough mobile home parks. I'm not bashing mobile homes. My first house was a mobile home, but you got some of them places that just look like they're out of the Trailer Park Boys neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So, I'm expecting to see Bubbles come around the corner or something. Fucking Sam Squanches.
Sam Squanch. Yeah. That was beautiful, by the way, Jack.
Well, thank you. I know our friend of the show and a past guest, Jerusha Rayopel, had a customer that had ants that just wouldn't die. The woman kept claiming that she was squishing them, and they'd get up and keep running. I mean, what the fuck, were you squishing them on your pillow? What were you doing?
What the methamphetamine is going on there?
I'm not even sure they were ants, but yeah, apparently ants that would not die. They were immortal ants.
Oh.
Well, I'd like to see that. I mean, I've had all kinds of weird claims from customers, but immortal ants haven't been one of them.
No. That would be a horrible world to live in, Jack.
It would.
Where ants are immortal.
Oh yeah, because the population go out of control, just like the mice do down in Australia.
Yeah,
and the rabbits.
Yep.
But at least you can eat those.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Jason Justman pipes in with, "Once upon a time there was a tiny little ant. The end." Thank you for using our time up, Justin, or Jason Justman, whatever.
Short and to the point.
It was short and to the point, exactly. I mean, you got to say, I mean, there's absolutely no lie in that.
Well, on the polar opposite of that tiny story that we just had, strap in, my friend, because our good friend and guest from last week's show, Mario Filippi, sent me a nice story, and he also sent me a picture this evening for what they do at the end of the week, and they're all sitting around. Looks like they were all drinking beer, him and a bunch of guys sitting around. It was a cool picture.
Oh, the good old Brazilian air. I love that guy.
Yeah. Hello, my fellow cheese bags. Here's another tale from the land of the boner-giving spiders. I had this account of a hospital in Rio de Janeiro in an upscale neighborhood, and the hospital had a beautiful grove in the back. I was in a meeting with the hospital's management when we received a call from the ICU asking us to come and see a situation with ants. It was close to visiting hours, and upon entering, I saw that one of the patients, who was in a coma, was covered in ants. The nurses were hurriedly cleaning the patient as his family was waiting to visit him. In that brief moment, I realized that the glucose solution being used on the patient must have leaked, and no one had noticed. There was a trail of ants coming from that grove, entering through the window, attracted by the leaking glucose solution, which had wet the floor, the sheets, and the pillow. It was a hot and rainy period, which probably contributed to this happening. After everything was resolved, we reinforced external treatment and provided guidance to the hospital staff on handling materials like glucose solution to prevent this from happening again. It's not a funny story, but the scene of the patient covered in ants was frightening.
Yeah, that's definitely, I hate seeing shit like that. Any type of bugs crawling on a patient like that is just really, it's disturbing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I never, would have made that connection, but Mario's the man. He pulled
Mario
that shit
is
out.
totally the man. And see, that's where having some experience comes into play. And that's awesome. So hats off to you, Mario.
Yeah, Mario, I got your address. I'm going to be sending you a koozie and a Tales from the Crawl Space sticker for your troubles. So I promised him that after the last show, I'm going to go ahead and get it sent out to him. I wonder how much postage is going to be to Brazil, and I've also got to get the addresses of the other guys over in Australia and New Zealand and see how long it takes for them to get theirs.
Yeah, I sent them magnets a while back, and it runs about just for like a standard envelope runs about $3.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Shit,
but
it
takes about a month to get it to them.
Holy shit!
Just standard mail. Hey, it's standard mail, Jack. I mean, if you want to spring for FedEx, go for it. But you know,
oh no, that's like it's like $75.
Oh hell yeah! So
that's a hard pass.
I had 4 dozen donuts overnighted to the house for my wife's birthday from Massachusetts. It was $190.
I remember that story. I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, I remember my wife hitting a fucking roof too.
I hope those donuts were tasty.
Oh, those donuts were so fucking tasty. And I'm upset too because I'm on their Facebook page, and tomorrow they are having an apple cider donut eating contest. And I can't be there to participate, and it breaks my damn heart.
Well, if I knew that y'all were crazy about them when you came out this way, there's a place not 15 miles from me that makes this fantastic apple cider donuts.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and I can ship you a dozen or two. That's no problem. We can work
don't
that out.
bother, because I'd like to check out Cool Fun again someday. So maybe
Hell yeah.
we'll catch it then. You know?
We could definitely do that. They make them all year round, and they also have these nice little Virginia country ham sandwiches wrapped in cellophane. They're like $2 a piece, just sitting on the counter, and it's just good old Virginia salt cured ham. Oh, it's so good.
I am all about the country fucking hams, man.
Yes, sir.
The salt cured hams. I mean, oh my God. Yeah. I know it shortens my life, but I don't care. I've led a good one.
Yeah, well, all those people that, eat really well and stay fit and exercise every day, they end up crapping out from like a myocardial infarction anyway. So it's,
They do. Exactly. Yeah. And the best part about country ham, it's so salty the ants won't touch it.
Oh, fuck no. That's the whole reason they do it.
Speaking of ants, William J. Anderson. How's that for a segue?
All right.
William J. Anderson says, during my first week in the business, my trainer and I go out to do a carpenter ant job. Mind you, it's January in Wisconsin, and we have 2 feet of snow, so kind of odd, but okay. It's an older couple, and we get led to the master bath. The lady lets us know she is seeing ants with wings. Now we are really confused because, again, it's January in Wisconsin. We start looking, and we see that this lady's toilet has been leaking for so long that the carpenter ant colony has gotten so big, they are sending out swarmers to start new nests. The wood is just basically gone around this toilet. We let the lady know, and she just goes, "Oh, I didn't really think the leak was a concern." And I know that wasn't a Wisconsin accent, but fuck it. Yeah, well, we got rid of the ants and kindly let her know that she needs to get a contractor. I mean, we were poking our fingers through the floor around this thing.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a concern,
No.
It's
Yeah, you'll
fabulous.
think it was concerned when you ride that toilet down to the crawl space.
Yeah, I took a poop in the second floor, ended up in the basement, don't you know?
Up in the basement, don't you know?
The bears.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah. Good old fucking carpenter ants. Those are the ones, Jack, what are you baiting for carpenter ants? Are you down with that?
I've always used, advanced carpenter ant, granular bait with abamectin. And, that always seemed to work out pretty well, but, carpenter ants generally, to me, I mean, a good serious treatment around the outside and like following the trail to find out where they're coming from. That's the beauty of the label of Termidor.
Yeah.
Is, the 1 foot up, 1 foot out and along trails. So I follow that shit all the way up the fucking tree.
I can't, I've used advanced carpenter ant granules and I love them. They're very effective but I can't stand using them because I imagine that's what Grace Slick's panties smell like.
Oh,
after Woodstock. Oh, come on, Jack. You know what it smells like.
Yeah, well, Grace Slick, I can only imagine. I always thought that she was hung bigger than I was anyways. That chick, she was more man than she was woman, but that's kind of the thing now anyways, so.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Grace no, Grace Slick. I love Grace Slick and everything, but man, I bet by the time the show at Woodstock was over, girl was ripe.
I think I'm confusing Grace Slick and Grace Jones.
You are confusing Grace Slick and Grace Jones.
I am. You're talking Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, or Jefferson Airplane. I'm older than you.
Yes, you are. And I'm talking James Bond movie with Roger Moore.
Oh yeah, A View to a Kill.
Yeah, that woman, that woman could scare the flies off a turd truck.
I'll tell you what, man, there was something really cool about Grace Jones though. It's like, no nonsense, don't take any shit off anybody. Her laugh. I loved it.
She could have done the old 70s 7-Up commercial. Never had it, never will.
Never had it. Cola nut, uncola nut. Damn.
Oh fuck! That's what happens.
It's like nostalgia day at the nursing home over here.
Well, we got to fill time somehow. Damn it! Come on.
No shit. You were right. We didn't get a whole hell of a lot of Ant stories. Okay. God damn.
Sometimes it's going to be shows, boys and girls, that we have to pull shit out of our ass. It happens that way.
Yeah, it does.
But I tell you, while you're looking for stuff, I'll give people a little sneak peek into the next couple weeks. How's that?
Hey, that sounds good.
All right. We got a show coming up next Friday. It's going to be called the Feel Good episode. Now, the thing is a couple days ago, Brad had made this post just thanking people for their participation in the depot. And I think a lot of us have made a lot of friends, me and Brad being a perfect example, that we would have never made otherwise.
Right.
And the fact is we've made some really cool connections on the depot. And what I'm looking for is stories about cool friendships and shit that's happened because of getting together, either because of the depot or the podcast or both. Yeah. So it's going to be a feel good episode, unicorn farts and everything. It's going to be fucking great. But I know there's some good stories about, oh man, I learned so much stuff from this one guy. I would have never met him if it wasn't for the depot. Just all kinds of good stuff like that. So we're looking forward to that. And the week after that, we're going to have the Cheese Bag Angels. We've got 3 very notable ladies. The 2 Candaces and Paula are going to be our Cheese Bag Angels for the show coming up.
Getting Paula Benedict on the fucking show.
Yes. And both the Candaces.
I tell you, man, the negotiations with that woman's agents were ridiculous.
Oh my God.
But we hammered it out. We got a deal made. And 2 weeks from now, if she can keep her internet going, she'll be here.
Hot damn. Yeah, we had a dry run with her before the show tonight, and it was a bunch of laughs. She's awesome. So that's going to be a great fucking show. It really is.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know Paula Benedict, if you're listening to the podcast but never been on the depot, she's basically the first lady of Pest Control Humor Depot.
Yes, she is.
And she always provides us with scintillating video, and she always gives us a good laugh. She mother hens us on a lot of shit, gives us some pro tips, and she can be kind at times, she can be stern at times, but she's Paula and we love her. And I cannot fucking wait to talk to her for an entire hour. And
it's gonna be great.
And the same goes with the Candaces. Candace Renee, has been a cheese bag for a long ass time. And, the 2 of them are responsible for the moniker cheese bag, to getting its toehold. So yeah, definitely looking forward to talking to Candace. Candace is an accomplished artist, and she is, just an incredible person to talk with. And she's really exciting. And, Candace Norquist is also a great person to deal with, talk to. I love her posts. I love her comments, and she's incredible. She's a husband and wife team out of, I don't know, somewhere in the world. I don't know exactly where she's at, but we'll get to all of that. But 3 great ladies and 2 sketchy dudes. So yeah, it's going to be great.
That's a match made in heaven, man, or hell, whichever one you look at it.
That's right. So yeah, make sure you carve some time out for that episode.
Most definitely. And like Brad was saying, if you don't know who Paula is, because you're not familiar with the Pest Control Humor Depot, you need to skip your happy ass over to Facebook and look for the Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook and join, because that is the home of Tales from the Crawl Space podcast.
And for the love of all that's good and pure, answer the membership questions, please, or you will not get in. Period.
Yeah,
End of
what the
story.
hell?
I wouldn't let my own dad in if he didn't answer the questions.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Answer the
But I'm
goddamn
a
questions.
dick,
Not
so,
that hard.
Yeah. Anyway.
But no, go to the depot. Check out the depot because there's a whole bunch of good shit, a ton of great people, and you get the first insight to what's going on with the podcast too. So if you like the podcast, you're gonna love the depot.
Yeah. Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the ant graveyard underneath homes?
Ant graveyard? No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Jason Strange apparently has. He goes, "You've all heard of the ant graveyard underneath homes, right? As a termite inspector, you see many things. 1950s homes, one story, raised in Long Beach, California, with moon dust soil that sticks to you. I was training a young inspector, and we had to inspect this crawl space. I saw the graveyard, had to maneuver around it. My trainee went through it. Had a freak out underneath the home. Needless to say, he quit."
Oh man,
Yeah,
I would love
Jason,
to see pictures of that.
Oh yeah, Jason. Message me or Jack and let us know exactly what an ant graveyard is. I'd say probably the most disturbing story and most disturbing experiences with ants I've ever had are in crawl spaces because you don't know what the fuck's crawling all over you. You know, especially it's dark, your flashlight, you may have a cheap East German, Cold War surplus flashlight. You don't know what's going on there. Yeah, that fucking creeps you out. I don't give a shit how long you've been in the business. And, one time I got into this crawl space. It's like, all right, this is cool. This, it's good. Visqueen's, fairly clean, a little bit dusty. I'm crawling around, put a knee down. All of a sudden my knee sinks in. It's like going into, like I stuck it in a warm chocolate cake just out of the oven, right?
Yummy.
And then all of a sudden my eyes were burning. I couldn't breathe. Fucking large yellow ants out there. Just fucking everybody's gassing me at the same fucking time. And I pulled that motherfucker back and it was just like an entire society underneath this Visqueen. And I was just like, whoa. And they were just coming. I mean, tens of thousands of them. They were fucking everywhere. They were crawling on me. They were jizzing their fucking formic acid on me. Oh, it was disgusting. I couldn't breathe. My fucking eyes hurt. And I was just like, I smelled like citronella all day long. It was, oh my God. It was traumatic. But, I was like, after I got over the initial shock of it, I crawled back out. Cause usually I don't go into a crawl space with a B&G. Nobody, fuck that, man. I got up there, loaded that fucker full of Dursban LO, got down there, took the tip off the band rip on the B&G and went to fucking town on those bastards. It was personal then. But, and then the customer goes out, "What the hell's that smell?" It's like, shut up. Shut up.
Well, I mean, I was doing termite jobs in crawl spaces, down there, trying to rot around the piers and stuff. And, you're kind of on your hands and knees and you got one hand down for stability and you're using your treatment tool in your other hand and you start feeling a little tickle going up your arm.
Yep.
And, I kind of look down and the lighting isn't all that great. So I crawl back out. When I get out, my arm is covered in ants, just, little black ants all over the damn, all up my shirt and everything. I mean, just harmless, but I must have put my hand in the wrong fucking place. But I tell you, that story about the brown recluse I had in the crawl space, I would have much preferred them to be ants. I would have really, really loved it if those were ants.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking great. I'll take ants any day over that.
Shit. Back when my esteemed daughter was, just small, I mean, maybe, kindergarten, first grade, she would be out in the front yard playing around and whatnot. And, Ellen went out one time and there was this big ass mound of pavement ants that was, just hanging out right in the middle of the flower bed. And she goes, "Brad, there's ants in the yard." I was like, "No shit, honey. It's a yard." She goes, "No, you don't get it. It's over by the house and I don't want them to get in." So I was like, all right, go out to my truck, grab some shit, find the mound, dispatch it, all's good. And then Emily, comes by and she goes, because Ellen was talking to Mo and saying, we found a bunch of ants out in the front yard, over by the flower bed and we killed them. She goes, "Those were my ants." We killed her fucking pet ants.
Killed her ant mound. What the hell?
Her damn ant mound. Yeah, I guess She goes, yeah, I'd go out there and I'd poke them with sticks and it was fun. But now I can't do it. And she started crying, So.
Oh, I had fun poking ants with sticks when I took, last year when I went on a vacation to Florida. Stopping at, the little, highway rest area things, stepping out, stretch my legs, have a smoke and everything. And there's fire ant mounds fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And we don't have those here in Virginia. So I was amazed. I was down there squatting down, just watching them, putting sticks in the way and stuff, just seeing how their habits were. And my son's like, JT's like, Dad, come on, time to go. I'm like, dude, give me a minute. I'm having fun.
No shit.
But the fucking mound, because it's such sandy soil down there. The mounds were everywhere, man. You hear the horror stories about little kids being maimed horribly by, playing out in the yard and getting attacked by a mound of fire ants. But have you ever seen the video where they release the phorid flies, over a mound of, fire ants? And they start laying the eggs in the fire ants and it pops their fucking head off.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, that's so fun to watch.
Beautiful.
I never get tired of that.
Finally, a use for forward flies.
Oh yeah, goddamn. Yeah. I remember the first time I saw that. I forgot. I was at one of those NPMA recertification meetings that last all day long, and you have to sit through the guy from Bell Labs trying to tell you why their bait's the best and everything. But one guy said, "Look, I've done enough technical stuff for the day. Let's watch something really cool." And he pulled up that video and we're all like, oh shit, watching the heads just go boop, It was the coolest fucking thing to watch. I'll try to find that video and post it on the Depot for those who haven't seen it. It's totally worth watching 3 or 4 times.
Please do.
You miss something every time you watch it, so you got to rewatch it 3 or 4 times.
That's right up there with the pictures that you see of the ants that have these fruiting body of fungus growing out of their thorax or their heads. And it's like standing there. They're dead, but they've got this fucking toadstool growing out of their bodies. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
It's like that fungus that grows in you. It's like that TV show, The Last of Us, which is about, what is it, a mycelium mushroom they call them zombie insects because this damn fungus grows in them and actually controls their body.
Yeah, I've seen videos of cicadas with that.
That is cool as hell, man. Little zombie insects.
It's cool as hell, but as long as you know what you're looking at, because otherwise it's like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. No, the long little tendrils of mushroom fungus growing out of their heads and shit. It's actually really cool.
Yeah. Oh,
I love that shit. And
nature, you scary.
Yeah, and what if it does transfer to humans and we have one of those The Last of Us type scenarios where we have these mushroom fungus head zombies running around trying to kill us?
It could happen.
It's possible. Didn't mad cow disease kind of make it to humans?
It did.
We'll see. Then it's possible.
And who would have been ready for such a scenario? Dale Gribble. That's who.
Dale Gribble. Are you a CIA agent? Fucking, man, I'm gonna miss Dale.
I am too.
They said he did not finish taping that when they were bringing it back. They're bringing the show back, and he didn't get the full season completed.
Well,
so I wonder how they're going to write that into the season that he's gone.
I'm curious as how that's going to work.
But I will cherish the episodes he's on, though, for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So that just
good
leaves Albert McClintock.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But so God damn it, rest in peace, Dale. Dale's head bug will not be performing services tomorw or ever again.
Just call it Dale's dead now.
Put him on top of the truck.
Yeah.
You got any more ant stories? Because I got a good you can suck it story.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and whip out that one?
And now it's time for the You Can Suck It story of the day.
Mm-hmm. So I switched from a small company to a big box company around January of this year. I've been in the industry for about 5 years now. Upon being assigned a route with the big box company, I also inherited the home of a Patel in the area that every tech had the nightmare dealing with. Anyways, a few months ago, I did his first service with me and was warned by a fellow tech about this guy getting downright disrespectful with new techs. I was thinking, okay, typical Patel, nothing I haven't dealt with before.
Right.
I was wrong. Not only was this guy completely rude and disrespectful and called me everything in the book besides a human being, he physically tried to take my B&G out of my hands to show me what I'm supposed to do. I promptly told him to keep his fucking roaches and spiders, and if he put his hands on me again, it would not end well for him. He called the office and told my managers he has evidence of me assaulting and threatening him. My manager, of course, asked to see the footage, which he obviously could not produce, and he was canceled. So,
Good.
I asked this person if they wanted me to fuck this guy up or if he wanted to do it himself, and this man wrote some lovely, colorful metaphors for this dude.
Rightly so.
Are you ready?
It's all him, man. Go for it.
Oh, I would love for him to wake up every morning with a rotting rat carcass across his face and experience random penile pain that the doctors can't find any explanation for, and for scorpions to crawl up his asshole and sting him every 5 minutes. And most of all, for him to step on a fucking Lego every time he gets up at night to take a piss.
Beautiful.
The Lego one was poetic, really it was, because those fuckers hurt.
Yeah.
But
well, good for him.
That's right, Mr. Patel. You can suck it.
You can suck it.
Don't forget to send in your You Can Suck It stories for every show. We're going to have one every episode. And if, we get more than one, don't worry. We're going to save yours and we'll get them in the order that we received them.
That's right. And it doesn't have to be customers either. It can be customers. It could be managers. It could be, somebody you encountered at your work. It could be a purveyor. It could be a manager, a fellow technician. It could be anybody. Anybody that can suck it is fair game here on You Can Suck It.
It is completely anonymous. There will be no names, no companies, no nothing. You can write with complete confidence, say everything you want to say, because nothing that leads back to you will be said whatsoever on the show. So let them have it. And if you don't have it in you to give them the cuss out that they deserve, just tell me to fuck them up for you. I'll be happy to do it.
Jack works in this stuff like, Michelangelo worked in, in plaster frescoes and it's beautiful. Just listening to him work. It's amazing.
But I was impressed about this man with the scorpions crawling up your asshole. That's actually a really good one.
That is a very, very, very good one. So, we got some creative geniuses out there.
We do. And I would love to hear y'all come up with the most heinous You Can Suck It condemnations that you can think of, because I know there's some guys out there. I'd love to hear Schultz write one.
Oh man. Yeah, me too. Yeah, he'd be able to do it pretty well.
All right, Schultz, you are now being tasked with coming up with a You Can Suck It, which nobody will ever know that you wrote it because we're not going to tell anybody. But if you decide to submit one, we'll be happy to read it.
Here's the cool thing. I bet if he did it and was completely anonymous, I'd know who it was. Of course, I didn't know who my own fucking brother was a few episodes ago, but
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I had that one coming. So,
and I was wondering if anybody was able to pick out which one was mine on the You Can Suck It episode. I wonder if anybody was able to pick that up.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing the stories because I know we all got them. And,
hell yeah.
I might even throw one or two in there sometime down in the future. So, hey guys, I want to thank everybody. I'm going to have to cut this short. I've had a really rough week and I'm not feeling all that hot. So we're going to go ahead and give it, knock off a few minutes early if that's okay. I guess it's going to have to be okay because we're the ones in control of the recording. But I've been a little sick. So, I really appreciate everybody listening. I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes. These things are going to be freaking atom bombs. I am really looking forward to it.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So Jack, thank you. And thank everybody who contributed to tonight's show. And on behalf of Pest Control Humor Depot, Tales from the Crawl Space podcast, we cordially request that you bug the hell off.
Bug off.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawlspace Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.